Adore Delano was the first ever contestant on Drag Race to quit the competition on her own accord. Straight up, just quit, not eliminate herself, not fuck the producer and then get disqualified, not like sabotage herself in a lip sync or whatever. She just left, and good for fucking her. Making her own mental health, thus physical health, a priority is amazing, and I'm glad that the other queens have followed in her footsteps. But let's say that Michelle Visage wasn't a total rat the episode prior to Adore leaving. Let's say that Michelle didn't judge Adore on her look, but actually judged her on her performance in the talent show. Let's say Michelle didn't completely come for Adore's entire aesthetic and her drag. Let's just imagine she actually respected Adore's aesthetic, even if she didn't particularly agree with it. Episode 2 is the Snatch Game episode, and Adore was gonna do Jen Crouch, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who she described as like some more of a drag queen version of Tammy Faye Baker. I think she'd do well here, and because we had Ginger doing a similar character, Ginger doing Tammy Faye Baker, it would have made it so that neither her nor Adore can be in the top 2, so I see her kind of landing in the middle. The elimination and the top 2 are the same. Episode 3 is the Herstory of the World, or Baddest Bitches in Herstory main challenge. Adore was to do Frida Kahlo, whose verse was literally just about her unibrow. If you haven't heard it, I put the link in the description to the full track with Adore's Frida verse, Coco's Cleopatra verse, and Tatiana's Joan of Arc verse. Adore's verse is the type of comedy RuPaul loves, and we've seen that the runways didn't matter much for this challenge. Just look at the top 2. So Adore could have placed high or been top 2 and lip synced with, or I guess against Alyssa. I don't know if she would have won the lip sync, if this happened. So to make my job easier, let's say that she would lose to Alyssa here, and thus Ginger gets eliminated, just like in the actual season. In episode 4, we had the acting challenge, and I assume Adore would either go with Alaska and Alyssa or Detox and Katya. I don't really see her choosing to do this challenge with Fifi and Roxy. On season 6, Adore didn't do well in acting challenges, but honestly, I don't think she could do as badly as Alyssa did, both in the challenge and on the runway. So maybe she's in the bottom 3 instead of Katya, or she is safe with Detox. Finally, we get to the fun part. So, episode 5. I assume that the original plan for this episode was to have 5 eliminated queens and 5 remaining queens pair up and do the stand-up comedy routine thing, but because Adore left, they had to do 4 pairs and a presenter, which was Roxy. Now, since we have a 4-to-6 ratio, or 2-to-3 ratio if we're being technical, we know Alyssa would choose Alaska, Ginger would choose her BFF Katya, Tatiana would go for Detox, and I think Coco would pick Adore, and here's why. So Coco's left to choose between Adore, Fifi, and Roxy. She's still mad at Roxy, so she isn't picking her. Between Adore and Fifi, even though Adore did badly in her stand-up comedy challenge on season 6, Adore is kind of more known as the funny one, out of the two, plus she's the fan favorite, so Coco's train of thought maybe led to her thinking like Ru would want to please the fans by giving Adore the top 2 spot, so Coco could, lip sync to get back into the competition. This means that Fifi and Roxy are working together, and we know that Alyssa and Tatiana are for sure in the top 2, and they're both chosen as the winners. Fifi and Roxy are definitely in the bottom 2. Firstly, Alyssa would definitely choose Fifi, but Tatiana, see, she didn't have beef with Fifi. I think she didn't go with Roxy originally because Roxy was left to write jokes on her own and she had a harder job than the rest of the girls, but this time she doesn't have that excuse. So if you ask me, and you kind of are, both Fifi and Roxy get eliminated this episode for different reasons, obviously. And by the way, I'm not saying that Alyssa would eliminate Fifi for the orchestrated beef that they had, but also just for the fact that she had a poor performance in this challenge, and Tatiana might have done the same, but, let's say Roxy already beat her twice in the episode 1 and episode 2 too, so let's say she's opting for Roxy because of that. So, our new top 6 are Adore, Alaska, Alyssa, Detox, Katya, and Tatiana. Episode 6 challenge is the Shark Tank-esque challenge where Tatiana was wrongfully in the bottom and Alaska was wrongfully in the top, but this is not the video for that. So this challenge is a writing challenge first and foremost, and somewhat also a design challenge where the queens have to design or create a product. We know that Adore doesn't do well in these design challenges, well, except for the one that she won. But when she had to write her own material, she didn't do that well, except in the rap, but this is not the rap challenge. So I do think she'd be in the bottom here with Tatiana, and that Tatiana would have gone home because of the, returning queen landing in the bottom rule. Now, the makeover episode. Adore was in the bottom 2 in her season's makeover challenge, so I do see her struggling here and being in the bottom 3 with Alyssa and Alaska. Now, we know that Detox could not eliminate Alaska, but with Adore here instead of Roxy, it gets kinda tricky. She might eliminate Alyssa because she's a returning queen, but she could also eliminate Adore because she's like a fan favorite and those bode well on All Stars, and also this would have been Adore's third or second time in the bottom 2/3. But regardless of the top 4, we know that Alaska would win, rightfully so, this was her season. So we look at two different possibilities. One where Detox eliminates Adore, and one where she eliminates Alyssa. In the first scenario, the top 4 are Alaska, Alyssa, Detox, and Katya. Alyssa is not musical, at all, but she could pull a good performance. She sadly also isn't a writer. I don't think she can either rap, so she is the clear odd one out of the 4, making the top 3 Alaska, Detox, and Katya, with Alaska winning just like in the regular season. But in the second scenario where Detox eliminates Alyssa, the top 4 are Adore, Alaska, Detox, and Katya. Now, this is the more interesting top 4 because all of the queens are, great performers, all of them can write, and all of them can rap/sing, or, in Katya's case, talk in a fun way. I feel like because this version of Reggie Rochu would have been, so fucking amazing, RuPaul, or more precisely the producers, would have got to look at the queen's track records, and by the season that I've imagined, now in this, scenario where Adore doesn't leave, Katya and Adore have similar track records. They were twice in the bottom 2/3, or once and thrice respectively if Adore did the episode 4 acting challenge badly. And yet again, we'd have a possible top 3 of Alaska, Detox, and Katya, but I think the more probable thing would have been Alaska and Detox being the top 2 and lip-syncing against one another. So, according to my imagining of All Stars 2, if Adore had stayed, she would have placed either 5th if Detox eliminated her, or 3rd/4th if she made it into the final episode. Either way, All Stars 2 would have been so much more fun with Adore there. Could you just imagine her confessionals after Alaska pulled another ratty-ass move and saved Roxy? Or how fun she would have been with her mom during the makeover challenge. But alas, Michelle Visage had to take her giant New Jersey one style of drag fits most dick out and slap Adore right across her face and ruin the season for us. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm being too harsh on Michelle. Adore has said that Raven Simone being gross to her was the reason she left the show, and honestly, again, I don't blame her. I get it, and I'm glad she made that choice.